You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith. Johnson.
The AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AFTERBUZZ TV's Survivor After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Survivor After Show.
That'd be funny.
What's up, guys? You guys done talking?
Yeah, we're done.
Nice. What's up, guys? Bang is for doing. We're here at AFTERBUZZ Studios in beautiful Los Angeles, California, doing another live after show for Survivor Season 26, Fans versus Favorites. Episode titled "There's Gonna Be Hell to Pay." I'm your host, AJ Gibson, joined again by my expert co-host to my right. You're supposed to say your name at that point. Jerri Manthey.
I was waiting for a very long, complimentary introduction.
The one, the only, 3-time player of Survivor, the lovely.
Right. From villain to...
again.
Okay, there we go. Hi, I'm Jerri Manthey.
What's up? Hi, I'm Ryan. We're already starting off like this. It's getting crazy.
And I am Justin Walter.
Our very own
Justin F.
super fan.
Justin F. Walter.
It's so funny, you guys. As we were watching the episode, we were talking about how last week we thought we were a little bit giddy, and we thought there were fumes in here.
I'm always like that.
And apparently it's just this new dynamic because, again, as soon as the camera goes on, we're all nuts.
It's the Jerry effect.
Can I make a quick announcement?
Yes, of course.
Did anybody get anything in the mail this year from someone on this show, this current season?
This current season? No.
Because I may have.
What is this?
Are you talking about?
Let me take off my jacket.
Wait, what is this?
I got a Team Drea t-shirt that she sent me. Why don't you read what it says on the back?
Oh, wow. Hold on. It says, Ryan, love you, boo. Can't wait to live with you soon. Are you guys going to be roommates? Love. Wait, what?
Ryan, I want you to model it right now.
Love.
I'm gonna come up.
Wow.
First of all, will you explain what live means to him?
Live means like you live. I live for that. I live for this. It's sort of a slang. And she even sent you a women's small. I love that. It looks great on you. Nice work. Oh.
Take a look at that.
It needs to be cut off.
So for our iTunes listeners, it's a purple shirt with green text. It's very tight.
For Andrea Belke.
Yeah.
We do love her. And I will say this, Andrea, I mean, I know her, we both obviously, clearly Ryan knows her a little better than I do in real life. She's a sweetheart. We're pulling for her. I'm also pulling for Brenda. But where's she at?
She's not on this season.
We haven't seen her. She hasn't even appeared in any of these episodes yet.
She's not a contestant on this season.
Who's Brenda?
Exactly. The Asian.
I was just going to say that, but I decided not
The token Asian
I go
girl.
there.
Yeah, you
Ryan's the token Asian on our panel.
I am not Asian.
I know he's not, but he could be.
Did Andrea send a lot of people those shirts?
Just
3.
me.
Just you.
Only 3.
No, I guess she had like a big party from her hometown, and she like had them, and then she's like, "Well, honey, I know you love me," and it came in the mail.
Oh, that's fun.
Aww.
Andrea, if you're listening, I
ya.
did pick you first in my Survivor Fantasy League with my friends.
Oh,
Really?
Justin wants a t-shirt.
Maybe.
Justin would, Andrea, if you're watching or listening, Justin would literally cry if he got a t-shirt from you.
Drea, you should sell them. That's what I think.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Work it out.
Why not? I'm not sure.
We sold Fab 3 shirts.
We did.
How'd that go?
But we sold them for a charity.
Yeah, this is true.
We sold them actually when we were on our show. We sold them for a charity back home to raise money for a lake, which was kind of
A whole 10 shirts you guys sold.
And the lake is crystal clear now. You can drink out of it.
We made a few grand for the charity.
Oh, nice. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Anyways, so let's talk
Yay.
about this episode.
Yes.
As opposed to talking about Andrea or ourselves, which
This
is
is
so fun.
kind of a dud. Other than Shamar blowing up like 20,000 times and threatening to quit, it was kind of a...
Yeah, and we found out, we kind of talked about this off camera last week. We found out that Shamar's kind of, we might have touched on based on this, he's a YouTube sensation.
And someone
kind of.
on our YouTube page actually posted, hey guys, did you realize Shamar is a YouTube sensation? Posted the video link of
8.5 million viewers?
8.5 million viewers.
Which is crazy.
And that was one of them. There were several. The rest still had millions of views.
And he was on a bunch of talk shows and everything else.
Yeah.
And I guess he was protesting, he was supporting the Occupy movement, correct?
In New York,
Yes,
Wall
and
Street,
screaming
yeah.
basically because he's he's an ex-Marine, speaking out against the police officers or something. Is that
Yeah,
right?
they were. It was, you know, when things were getting heated and the cops were kind of being a little too physical with the people that were just standing there trying to protest, and he stood up for them and was very vocal about it. It was actually really cool to see. You know, it made me want to like him because the Occupy movement is one of the biggest movements in our time, and I don't know. Just seeing him on Survivor, this episode, I was a little concerned, and I don't know how I feel about him anymore, just because he was so close to quitting, and now it almost sounds like they recruited him off of YouTube.
Right, clearly.
Had to have been because his heart's not in this.
So what are the bets that he's ever even seen an episode of Survivor?
Very slim. Or he did a boot camp before he got on the show and just rented the
I'm saying
seasons.
prior to casting, I put money that he's
0.
never seen one episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's supposed to be a fan.
Which does break my heart, because you look at the yin to his yang. You look at Cochran, who initially was a fan and now is a favorite, and he talks in this episode about how he's like, it's like Wednesday night at 8 o'clock all day every day here. It's so exciting. This is how Justin would be if you're on the show. But he's so excited to be out there again, and he's so endearing and so genuine and so just happy to be a part of the Survivor family, and to be considered a favorite now has just got to be mind-blowing for him. But then you see Shamar, who, and I'm still, you know, I haven't made judgments on Shamar yet, because I've known a lot of Shamars. Who was a fan?
Yeah.
Wow, we're getting personal.
No, didn't somebody say that on the show?
Sherry.
Was it Sherry? Yeah,
says
exactly.
that, yeah.
No, we're calling her Sandra Bullock.
Yeah,
Sandra Bullock.
Sandra Bullock from The Blind Side.
From The Blind Side.
No wonder she's taking a liking to Shamar.
Not because she took a liking to the big black man on the show, because she looks like
I never
her.
even thought of that.
I went there. Look, I'm not afraid to go there.
Is she gonna get him clothes next?
No, to some.
Well, maybe she should, because he doesn't look like an ex-Marine.
No.
But I'm still out on Shamar for me, because
Clearly.
I understand a lot of people like him, and I understand what it must feel like to be in a tribe of 10 where the only person that has the background, he's a big black guy, which has got to be intimidating.
And you understand how he feels?
Yeah, well, no, but a lot of the duplicates, as we have every season, all the little blonde girls on the tribe, and then a couple like douchebaggy like guys who are in their 20s and really in shape, like that's got to be intimidating. So I think that it's still possible, and I'm just playing devil's advocate here, it's still possible that his message is just being lost in translation. He's frustrated. He's not being portrayed the way he thought he would be. He's not being able to communicate with these people the way he thought he could. And in the real world, in the Occupy movement, which is what made him famous essentially, and got him on the show possibly.
But
he was able to be loud and outspoken and very just aggressive, and that doesn't translate in the Survivor world.
It doesn't.
At all.
But I mean, he even said in the last episode, he said, "I'm a big, loud black man, and that's what I am." You know, so he's but proving himself.
Well, but it also, playing devil's advocate, that maybe has been his MO throughout his life, and maybe he's had to resort to that in certain scenarios to be heard.
Yeah.
And I feel like now is not the time to play that card. We all do it. If I need to gay out every now and then to let somebody know that I'm here, I'm queer, I'm whatever it is.
Right.
I can
play your cards.
I can do
whatever
that.
it is.
Yeah, sure. And maybe.
But again, if he was just a fan or watched, one season, he would know that he needs to shut the F up.
It's a terrible strategy,
Right.
if it is a strategy.
And it's frustrating as a fan watching, because even Reynold said there are 50,000 people that would be lining up to be sitting in this position to have the opportunity to be on this show, and here you have this guy.
Did that bring a tear to your eye?
It did. And he's ready to quit. And if you're a fan of the show, you hate quitters. You hate the line of quitters on the show. Clearly, last season, Dana, we have Austin, we have Nyanka, we have Purple Kelly. So many quitters, and it's really frustrating to watch people like that. And then to have someone like Reynolds see it as his opportunity to stay in the game longer. He can get a footing in the tribe, and then Shamar then turned it around. Like, I'll be loyal to you guys. I don't want to put you out. So he did a good job on spinning, quitting to them being loyal.
Well, do we think it's
all about getting attention. That's all he wants. He wants attention. Look, he got it.
Is there any possibility it's actually a strategy?
No.
Really? No. I don't know.
Here's the thing: if it were a strategy, we would see that side in the confessionals, I believe, because then it would be showing us this is a genius strategy.
I got all these guys fooled. Blah blah
This is a genius strategy. If that is strategic, hats off to him. It's awesome.
Yeah.
But the fact that we haven't seen that, I would 100%
Well,
say it's not.
maybe he's a method actor. Maybe like a method actor, he has to be so in the character all the time.
That's Philip.
That's Philip.
Okay, let's talk about Philip for a moment then, because he's nuts. I said it last week. I'll say it again. He's batshit crazy.
Totally.
He's so nuts. He's lost it. He referred to himself. He said that he's having the time of his life. He's talking about how he works out all the time, and the entire time he's saying this, I'm looking at his gut like jiggling. And he says he goes to the gym. He works out with guys half his age, and he's like, I should be in the NBA. They ask me if I'm in the NBA, but this is how I roll. He's like, I play old school ball like Magic Johnson and Larry Bird, and they're not used to that.
What does that even mean?
I don't know.
And then showing him like lifting the rocks and the logs.
Like he's doing bicep curls with like a rock.
Well, I think it was Andrea.
You're
She
not
looked over and
eating.
said, "You need an audience. That's all he needs is an audience."
Which makes him awesome TV to watch and entertaining.
I guess.
But I mean, it's just the butt of the joke. I mean, like the music is like funny when he's working out. It's like dun dun dun. Like I mean, they're all just making fun. He's the circus act, and his audience is the camera. I mean, he's clearly playing.
It is a little frustrating. Again, I'm going to just be bold and to say it. It's a little frustrating to see that the two characters that they're getting these sort of edits are the two black guys on the tribes. Maybe it's completely fair. I'm not saying it's not. It's just a little bit frustrating as a viewer to watch these stereotypes of these two characters play out. I know they're giving them that material. I get that, but I just don't know how I feel about the edit so far.
It's with Shamar, for example, I really feel like a lot of it's personality driven too. You know, in terms of his race. Yes, he's the sole black man on his tribe, and as a white guy, I have no idea how that would be or how the mentality of the game changes. But just personality-wise, if you take out race in the equation,
he's annoying.
He's an abrasive, annoying person, and that's like last season we were debating the idea of Abby Maria. Is it cultural or non-cultural? We took different sides of that. So I don't know. I think a lot of it does have to do. See, and I agree. I'm on Jerri. We see eye to eye on a lot of this stuff.
That's why we're sitting across from each other.
Again, last season, what did I say?
You said it was cultural.
I thought it was cultural.
I know.
But then when we had Abby on the show, she said, "No, I'm just a bitch."
Yeah,
I wasn't here that week.
We asked her. You weren't here that we talked to her, and she said, "No, you know that's my personality." And she was really humble about owning up to being a bitch on TV.
I think also with Abby Marie, we saw
Which is
in
an
the
oxymoron.
well, we saw in the live reunion last season that after watching yourself back, and I can attest to this, you see how you're portrayed. You live your life, and for how many years, 20, 30 years, and you view yourself a certain way, and then you see how other people respond to you, and you're like, all right, maybe I have good intentions, but the way it comes across is a little abrasive. I can totally relate to that, and maybe that's why I relate to Abby Maria. Maybe that's why I relate to Shamar a little bit, because I am abrasive. I know that about myself, but I like to think I'm a pretty loving guy. And
the road to hell's paved with good intentions. That's all I can say.
You know what? At least it's warm down there. At least it's warm.
Maybe
down
you should
there.
go back and watch that episode again.
Wow. Well, I mean, I can
Calm
totally
down.
relate as well, because the difference with me is that I saw myself on that season in Australia, and I was labeled the bitch, and I was made out to be this horrible villain. In actuality, if you go back and watch it, I really didn't do anything to deserve any of that. And but I do, you know, I'll take credit for the material I gave them on a daily basis. You know, just it was sheer honesty. And so what I learned about myself was that being honest sometimes is not a good thing. You just need to keep your mouth shut.
And we talked about this a little bit off camera, and I would just like to discuss it just briefly. That people like you and me, we were able to, I guess, maybe go watch ourselves and make some changes.
Yes.
Because I don't think we're bad people. I think most people who know us would attest to that. But some people, a lot of people that go on reality, they kind of live in a bubble afterwards.
Well,
kind of
they
deny.
love the attention. They're not there to be better people afterwards. They're not trying to learn anything. They just were there from the beginning for attention. And when they got it, they loved it. They didn't care if it was bad or good.
And they think that they're the world's greatest players afterwards.
It's changed a lot of people. Even like, you know, our friend Justin, who did Amazing Race a few seasons ago with his sister.
Oh, I thought you were talking about me for a second.
No. And they were out of control, like horrible disrespecting towards each other on the show. And then it literally changed their relationship afterward once she saw how she treated him. Like she didn't really get it until she saw it.
That's awesome.
I think that's what you're trying to say.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, for me, I love to see that when people learn from their experience on the show. I mean, I did not meet Abby, but I can say that watching that show, I did not want to, because she was being just outright mean to people, and it was not necessary in the context of the game to say the things she was saying.
And it was interesting. I met her. She was so nice in person. She was like a different person.
She's a whole different person.
She was a whole different person.
So
and
she's learned?
I genuinely believed when she was in here for an hour with us.
Either that or she's really good.
Or she's
actress.
really good. She's setting herself up. But we should get her in here this season, definitely.
Yeah, we can
and
definitely
put you
do that.
guys across from each other.
Yeah. Yeah. Do it. Do it.
Like classic versus new villain.
It's always, I don't pull punches, but at the same time, I try to give people the benefit of the doubt when I watch these shows. And because for all of you guys watching at home or listening at home, think about it this way: how cranky do all of us maybe get if you're a little bit hungry or a little bit tired? Like, have you ever been like hanging out with like your significant other or your brother or sister or whatever, and you're just really hungry and you just get in a really bad mood because of it? Imagine being so hungry and being able to do nothing about it, and then being in the sun all day with a bunch of people you hate.
Are you asking me to imagine it?
No, I mean, you've lived it.
Everyone else at home.
Awesome.
Like, it's easy to judge watching it when you can't really judge when you've never been in that
I
situation.
like watching Survivor now with a big bag of chips.
Right.
Or granola bars.
Yeah, or 5 granola bars, yeah.
Or I like to make a smoothie out of snails and horse shit.
That's
like they do that like one episode a season. The first 2 things that popped into my mind.
I like watching with my buff on.
Yeah?
No.
And nothing else.
Sure, yeah, I was gonna say, nothing else. Speaking of nothing else, I found out the name of the movie that Richard Hatch is wearing with the power enemas, which is another gay movie. So I recommend it
That's
highly.
what it's called?
Another gay movie.
You guys need to check that out.
Yeah.
So,
I'm gonna get you a copy.
Oh God, I'll make sure not to watch it.
let's talk about another alliance that seems to be forming that's kind of unexpected for me, but kind of makes sense when she explains it. Let's talk about Corinne and Malcolm a little bit.
Yeah.
Because Corinne says, she's like, Philip and Andrea have played this game together before. So have Dawn
and Cochran.
And Cochran, yes. And it just kind of makes sense that Malcolm and I team up. She doesn't know anything about Malcolm, obviously, because they shot these seasons back to back, so nobody knows Malcolm, which is interesting, which could play to his favor, I think.
It will.
And they become an alliance very early on. She said, well, then let's talk about this. Just like last week with this whole idol thing. It drives me crazy now how easy it is to find idols.
Right.
If there's a hole in a tree somewhere, there's an idol there.
Go stick your hand in it.
Yeah.
If there's an idol hidden
Just
here, it'd be
saying.
in your glass.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, it is a joke.
Oh, I'm so thirsty.
It is such a joke.
It's always in a hole in a tree. That's
Always.
it now.
It's ridiculous.
It really
Yeah.
is, and it's
They're not even giving clues anymore.
at all. And you said also, like, what happened to Tree Mail?
Yeah.
Why don't they mention Tree Mail
I'm
anymore?
so mad. Tree Mail was great because it gave people the opportunity to go off in pairs and have conversations, and things happened around the Tree Mail box. And
Maybe
then,
they didn't show it, but they still are, it's clear that they're still doing it because they did show in the other episodes Tree Mail. One thing in terms of Corinne, when you look at her in Gabon, she was aligned with Charlie and Marcus, the 2 kind of males from the season. So in her aligning with Marcus, look at the guys available on her tribe. I mean,
She
not Marcus.
gravitates towards
Malcolm.
hot dudes.
Her aligning with Malcolm is exactly what she did in her first season. So it's not surprising to me that she's with Malcolm just because she doesn't know about him. Who's she going to be with? Brandon or Philip or Cochran? No.
Brenda.
She's going.
Somebody align with Brenda, please.
But that's the thing.
Who's
She's
Brenda?
the type of girl that women don't vibe well with, which we saw with
Corinne?
Yeah. Girls are threatened by Corinne, and we saw that with Andrea, where Andrea was trying to already setting the stage to get Corinne out of their 6-person alliance.
And that's the thing, like, I think on this show, if you're not like a pretty all-American, like Midwest-looking type of girl, people are intimidated by you. If you're over the age of 40, I feel like girls are intimidated by you, or if you're not the stereotype of what pretty is, like a little blonde or like a little brunette, petite, and Corinne's not. She looks like a woman. And I think that's probably where, someone like Andrea who's a little bit younger, a little threatened by that, so I'm gonna make a play right now.
Well, she saw her and Malcolm getting really close and having like very intimate conversations, which you should never do in front of everybody.
Right. She even mentioned that too. She was just like, people going off having little conversations, you're always looking out for something, and they're being so obvious about it. And obviously, Corinne also said that that Malcolm was good looking and hot. So people can vibe and tell if there's.
She
a little
really is like
attraction thing
taking
going
notes
with
from
that.
my playbook.
She is.
I find the good-looking guy and go
Weren't
over
you the
there.
first person to have sex on Survivor?
I never had sex.
I'm just kidding.
That was
You and Colby?
That was a total rumor. Please, I beg your pardon. Oh, believe me, I tried. I
I would try to have sex with Colby.
It did not go anywhere.
Yeah, I tried to get on Top Shot just so I could have it.
There are so many jokes I could insert right now, but I'm not going to.
Oh, come on.
Insert.
Oh, God.
I did it without even knowing.
Jerri, looking at Andrea in terms of like the women not getting along, in terms of playing the game, you, Sandra, and Parvati kind of, you had a working female kind of relationship
At
and
the
alliance
end.
towards the end.
Yeah.
So in terms of the women mentality from experience, kind of what can you attest to or say regarding Andrea wanting to go right after Corinne?
I mean, I think she feels threatened by her, and she's trying to take the heat off of herself. But I think she's being a little too vocal about it too soon. That's what I was saying to myself when I was watching her like plot against Corinne without really good reasons yet.
It seems like too much too soon.
Yeah.
You don't need to. You said the same thing.
And that always ends up biting people in the ass because you can't have something set in your mind. Like I was after Parvati from day one in Heroes and Villains, and she was with me at the end. That's why she got my vote, because I was like, you're still here.
Yeah.
But had I known at the beginning, I maybe could have worked with her a little bit better.
Right.
Yeah, I think it's too much too soon. I think that she was trying to make a case to get Corinne out before they'd even had an immunity challenge, or they didn't even know if they were going to tribal. And now that they ended up winning the immunity challenge at the end of the episode, now you've got to deal with that for a few more days, and you have 3 or so more days for this to get out. That you're gunning for her. It doesn't make sense to me.
Also, why would you tell Brandon
That's
anything?
exactly what I was going to say.
There's no point even speaking to him.
Yes.
Like,
You know, that's the new Survivor. This is like, I know I always go back to, the old school, the new school. The new school Survivor is, I know, all
They
about...
should do an old school versus new school season.
That's
Yes,
it
they
right
should.
there.
That is what they should do.
I've been saying it forever.
But what would you fall in? You played new, you played old.
She's old
She's
school.
I'm old school.
Yeah.
I'm old school because I still played it old school.
True.
Based on
you
your
know?
original season.
But it's like
original season. There we go.
nobody talked about strategy or voting people off before we even went to a challenge back in the day. Like you wait until you have to have that conversation because it's like showing your cards too soon.
And I felt like it was normally like who performed badly in the challenge. It was sort of like that in the beginning too.
Yeah.
And then it just
exactly
flipped.
what it used to be. You used to have to keep the strong people around to try to make it to the merge, and it's kind of different now. But it is interesting though, because like we talked about last season, it wasn't that way. It's just how the game plays out each season. Where Denise and Malcolm were concerned, they just kind of lucked into the whole situation. I mean, they hung around and but they were in tribal council every single week. And then they went into a merge as the swing votes, and they never really had to play a dirty game. They were allowed, to not play that way, and it just kind of worked out for them. This season, it's like everybody's gunning for everybody right away, and it's just like, I don't know who's in alliance with who. It's always changing.
Yeah, every time before tribal council, I'm always like, well, it's going to happen.
Yeah, it's Andrea's putting herself in the position of she has to be the #1 person in power, or else she's going to lose control. Because if she's playing her cards too soon, when you tell Brandon, it's just really risky. And I was shocked to see her. I thought she'd be more calculated. I still think she's going to go far. I know you disagree with me, but I
hope I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Well, I think there's a reason why she sent you a T-shirt.
Really? Are we reading into this?
Of course, I read into everything. If a Survivor does it, I'm reading it.
That's cool.
But yeah, I think that to me says that she does pretty well.
Well, let's hope so.
Yeah, I agree.
Or she sent it to you already because she's going to be out of here soon. And she's got it before she's
Or
off.
that, yeah.
One or the other.
I want to let you guys at home think. I want to thank you guys for listening and for watching us on YouTube, listening to us on iTunes. Please go on to iTunes if you guys are a fan of the show. And you guys keep whispering. That's cool. I can hear you completely. It's really fantastic. No, you guys get on iTunes, rate, comment, tell your friends about us. And also, if you guys do comment, we will comment back. We're going to try something new, I think. And I'm going to let Justin talk about this a little bit, though. We want to give you guys the opportunity to connect with some of your favorites from the show, because we have a lot of connections to a lot of people in Survivor.
Yeah.
So I'm going to let Justin talk about that for just a moment.
So one thing with fans versus favorites, we really want to try and connect fans with favorites. And what we're going to do is, if you guys follow, we just created a new handle on Twitter, ABTV Survivor. So follow ABTV Survivor. Hit us up on Twitter, hit up our YouTube channel, hit up our iTunes account, and tell us who your favorite fans are, what you loved about them. And if you do that, we're going to try and every couple of weeks link up fans with their favorites over the phone on our show, so they can talk to their favorites, ask them some questions, and bring fans together with some of their Survivor favorites. So it's going to be really fun. I know, as a huge fan, even sitting across from Jerri every week, it's awesome. And it's an honor. So here's an opportunity for you guys to be linked up with some of your favorite Survivor players.
And we're really lucky because here at AfterBuzz TV, we have a lot of liberty to do these sorts of things. They kind of give us a little bit of space to do these cool sorts of things that not a lot of other people can do. And we have such great connections being here in Los Angeles, having a 3-time player on the panel. We can really make some cool stuff happen this season. So you guys, make sure you get on iTunes, on YouTube, and comment. That's your best chance. Also, follow us on Twitter.
Yeah, tell us who your favorite Survivors are. We want to hook you up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to be better at this whole Twitter thing.
This whole Twitter.
And I can only do it with your help, so Twitter away.
Jerri
Jerri Manthey.
Wait, how many followers do you have?
6,000.
You have like 8 more followers than me, I think.
All right, now it's a competition. Come on, people.
Let's move into the immunity challenge. There was no reward challenge tonight, which kind of made me sad, but there was a reward with the immunity challenge.
Yeah, lawn chairs.
Lawn chairs.
I love that.
But they also
And
got a tarp.
Yeah, the tarp's big.
Yeah. It seems trivial, but how much does it really matter to have lawn chairs out there? Is it actually a luxury that you want, that you use, or is it just
if
silly?
It's there, yeah, because I mean, sitting on that bamboo or sitting on logs really, and then the bonier your butt gets, the more weight you lose. It actually is. It's a total luxury to have a chair of any kind to sit
So it seems trivial, but it's actually kind of cool.
Yeah.
I guess.
It is pretty
It's
cool.
padded too, so
Padded.
you could use that as a pillow.
All right, you guys. We've got a caller on the line.
Yeah.
Hey, this is AJ at AfterBuzz TV. Who do I have on the line?
Hi, is this Dallas?
Oh my God! No, it's not. But I am doing Dallas in an hour, and I would love you to call back in.
You pay her to call every week to do this.
I'm sorry. What is your name?
My name's Stevie. Hi, guys.
Hey,
Stevie.
How's it going, Steve?
Stevie, this is actually the Survivor after show, but I cover Dallas in an hour.
That's Steve from Survivor.
No, we have the right person
They linked
now.
in the right caller.
Yeah.
He's been chatting with Jerri and I on Twitter.
Oh my God. Okay.
Hey, Stevie, what's up?
We fell for that one.
What's up?
How's it going, buddy?
Hey.
It's going great. I want to say thank you to Justin and Jerri for tweeting me all the time. It makes my day every day.
You're welcome.
It's fun.
We need all music.
Yeah.
Everybody else does too. It'll be fun.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to say, this was, like Jerri said, kind of a dud of an episode. I was excited to call in tonight and talk to you guys, but I'm glad they showed Hope for like 30 seconds so we could know who she was before she went home.
We saw her ass on the way out. Nice buns, by the way.
Stevie has.
And I also wanted to say, I'm sorry. What?
Oh no, go ahead.
I also wanted to say, if they found Shamar on YouTube, which I didn't know until tonight, can somebody recruit me already? Hello.
I know. Your video was really funny. I enjoyed it. I watched the entire thing, I have to say.
Oh, God.
What was the video?
I actually rewatched it after you said you watched it and was so embarrassed. So thank you very much.
He basically held a tribal council at his house. Everybody voted on what his house name was going to be.
By himself?
That's amazing.
Yeah, and it was
Everyone
just,
should check it out.
You cut it together, so it was really interesting and quick-witted. I liked it a lot.
I feel like you and Justin would get along just fine.
That's why we tweet each other. So,
That's right. I also wanted to say that as much as Shamar is a pain in the ass, I really want him to, I mean, I'm afraid he's going to hurt somebody, but I also really want him to stay around in case they do a tribe switch, because can you imagine, like, the fight between Shamar and Brandon and Philip?
That's classic. That would be some good TV.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Shamar and Philip fighting for attention from the camera would be very interesting.
Oh, it's going to be fast. I really hope it works out that way. And that Richard Hatch movie, don't watch it.
Have you watched it?
It's terrible.
Oh, I've seen it. Yeah, it was the most shocking thing.
Oh, no.
It's bad, right?
Stevie, where are you calling us from?
It's bad.
Oh, my God.
Where are you calling us from,
Also,
Stevie?
what were they? I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, where are you calling us from?
I'm calling from Muncie, Indiana.
Really? I actually grew up 30 minutes from Muncie, about 40 minutes from
Wow.
Muncie.
It's a small world.
Do you know a little town, Salina,
Oh, God, here we go.
Salina, Ohio?
Oh, yeah, I go through there all the way, all the time on my way to Cedar Point.
I love
Cedar Point.
There you
Love
go.
Cedar Point.
You guys.
Well, Stevie, I want to thank you so much for calling in. We really do appreciate it. Thanks for being a fan. I'm going to check out your video later.
Okay, thanks. Bye,
Take care.
Bye.
Yeah, call again. See, that's awesome having fans call.
Muncie,
Yeah.
Fans
Indiana.
got to call.
Muncie, Indiana.
I know Muncie.
Awesome.
How do you
So
spell
funny.
that?
Muncie. They have a really good club volleyball program. That's the only reason I know.
Shut
Spry.
up.
I had a friend who played there when I was in high school.
Oh, my gosh.
So funny.
He is so annoying with the small town references. It's always about sports and weird shit.
That was fun having someone
That's all
call for
we have.
Survivor, not for Dallas.
Yeah, it's exactly.
Thank you
if
for
it was just
calling
you on
in.
the show, we wouldn't even heard him and just hung up on him.
Wait. I'm still confused.
Because he saw that happen before. He watches the show.
Oh, he
and
made a joke?
It was him being funny.
I thought there was a second caller, and they just passed through the
That's what
second
I thought
caller.
it was too. I didn't know he made the joke.
He's funny.
He's good.
Yeah, he's
I was
really
like, sorry,
funny.
asshole. Call back in an hour. I'm kidding, Steve. I think
Yeah,
you're
hey,
great.
Stevie, if you ever come out to LA, you have to come on the show.
Yes.
Yes.
Fun.
Sit on the couch that Justin fell off of once. We won't remind him.
And I'm trying to get one of my favorite Survivor fans in here. His name's Erno.
Oh, fun.
And you guys
Is that his birth name?
Yes, it is. He's from Finland, and I gave him the tag name "Creepy Finnish Guy," and ever since then, he's been all over the internet.
Creepy Finnish guy.
Yeah.
Are you sure we want him in the studio?
Oh yeah, he's harmless.
Wow.
He's fun. Hi, Erno, if you're listening.
They're really close. It's her friend from Finland from Twitter.
That she's renamed.
Yeah.
Your birth name isn't good enough.
I mean, her name's Erno.
Yeah, I get it.
Moving on.
All right, back to the challenge.
Immunity challenge. Okay, so another water challenge. I'm excited about this. This one looks really cool to me. I would love to do this challenge. A little bit short and not a lot of strategy involved, just a lot of muscle.
Yeah.
The entire tribes have to swim out to this huge bamboo cage. Then they all have to climb up over the cage and drop down into it.
Which seemed high risk.
It did seem a little bit high risk.
I thought someone was going to jump on someone's head.
It just seems, I don't know, confined. It was even hard for them to film it.
Yeah, Philip struggled a little more than he should have, since he's basically at the caliber of an NBA player.
Right.
You think he'd be a little better.
As physical as he is.
Right. And he always has that Speedo on.
Someone had to put their hand practically up his butt to get him over that.
So they get out there and the fans jump out to an early lead. They look like they're doing well. They get down into the cage. They open the door underwater, facing the beach. They open theirs first and they get their crate. Their crate's heavy, but they're in the water, so whatever. They've got their crate. They're heading out, and favorites are still struggling. So it looked like it was going to be. I thought it was going to be a runaway. Yeah, I thought it was going to be a runaway win for the fans again, because they're pretty physical.
Yeah, and the faves kind of caught up in the water part.
The faves, I love it.
What? The faves. They caught up bringing the chest. They were actually first to get their chest on the track. So then after they got the chest out of the water, they had to put it on a long wood kind of train track. And then you had to use rope and a metal ring to get on a latch by tossing it and then bring the tracks together. You had to do that 3 times.
And it started off, it was again Malcolm versus Reynold throwing in something to hook onto something else.
And Reynold kicked ass.
And they were both doing really well, and then they decided not to do it anymore.
I
think so too. What is with your Reynold obsession?
No, I think he's an underdog right now.
He's a good tosser.
I do not hate Malcolm.
You hate Malcolm.
I do not hate Malcolm. I do not hate Malcolm.
I hope you're watching.
I do not hate Malcolm. What I like about Reynold is he is the underdog right now, and I think strategically he's going to be able to maneuver and get further in the game than people think he's going to.
That's I don't know if I'd call Reynold an underdog.
I think he's an underdog right now because he's on the outs of his alliance, and I'm rooting for the underdog.
He's one of the last pretty people left.
He has an idol. I mean, I don't think he's an underdog.
Reynold latched his right away, and then Eddie missed a lot. Then Shamar did it. Shamar latched it right away. The fave side, you had Philip doing it, Malcolm doing it. Then it was Brandon versus Eddie. Why in the world did they let Eddie try again
over and over again
and again and again and again and again and miss? Stupid.
And can we just take a moment to just point out that there's no place for any of the women on either of the tribes in this entire challenge.
Right.
Does that bother anybody else? Like the girls, like
that's almost like every challenge, to be honest with you, so far.
Not really though. When it comes
so far.
Well, this season, and they have been very physical.
Yeah.
I like when there's, and I mean, obviously most men are stronger than most women, but we saw last season, you saw Denise, she was balling the shot calling every episode.
It was pretty like an even field. But I also want to say too, sometimes these challenges have rules that we at home don't see, because I would say that nobody got mad at Eddie afterwards and like brought that up really. So in my opinion, maybe you couldn't move on until you made it.
Yeah. Or they did switch out. They went from Eddie to Shamar. Maybe it's you could only do it once.
Yeah.
Because Eddie did it the second time, miss, and then Shamar stepped in and did it.
Because no one got crazy on him.
He kept missing and missing and missing.
He was like playing the ring toss at the carnival that no one ever gets.
And it's not like they were standing behind him going, "Hey man, let me do it."
Right. And on the other side too,
they weren't just like, because one of you just pushed him out of the way and said, "Fine, let me fucking."
And if you think about the other side too, Brandon, he tried the second round doing it, missed, and then Philip stood in and did it, and then Brandon again. Maybe that was a hidden rule that you could only do it once.
Or maybe
that's what I was thinking.
The editing of the challenge itself was a little.
Or maybe they're all male chauvinist pigs. So, anyways,
nice segue.
The faves do come back, and they end up winning this challenge, and it was a cool one. It was exciting. It was close. I love how afterwards they go back to camp, and the fans are of course trying to dissect why they lost again. And Shamar's furious because he didn't have his goggles, because he gave his goggles to Reynold, and then Reynold was like, "Oh, you could have had him back," and whatever. So Shamar starts to, I'm like, "Shamar, now is not the time. You just did well in the challenge, so let's leave it at that."
Yeah, they won. I'm like, why are they even arguing?
No.
Oh, That's right, they lost.
But Shamar did well.
I'm all confused now.
He
Right.
hooked one. He did his part.
Right.
Lay low. Just shut up right
shut
now.
up.
Yeah.
That's the thing. He doesn't know how to shut up. He likes to be the center of attention, stirring the pot.
I think he just doesn't want to be there. I think he's looking for a reason. Without quitting, he's looking for a way out.
I have to agree. Actually, after what we saw this episode, I really do think that he was almost trying to get voted out.
Yeah.
Which
And-
infuriates me beyond belief.
On the flip side, though, I love Laura. I love her comments.
She
said,
is
she goes,
good.
she's like, you guys, I really just sucked today. She's like, at one point, I think I was doing backstroke in the wrong direction. I don't know. I just love her. I love her. Like,
Did I just say-
she's so candid. I love that because I'm like that. I appreciate that.
I want to like get in there and like tell her to stand up straight. She has really bad posture, and I'm worried for her. Stand up straight, girl, because I'm telling you, when you get older, that ain't gonna be comfortable.
not gonna be cute.
You're going to need like
No.
orthopedics or something to fix that. Do it now. How old is she?
You did a very good impression, facial expressions of Laura. I was laughing
Thank
about
you.
it. Yeah, so watch that on
I'm
YouTube.
really good.
Oh, I
well,
missed it.
I'm really good at being like kind of like a dumb blonde. I am.
But she is not dumb at all.
No.
Laura and Sherry are running that tribe.
That's
Yeah.
and that's the interesting thing, and I'm glad you said that because these challenges are very male-dominated, very
Yes.
physical. But I feel like the men are not in charge of this tribe at all.
no.
I feel like the women are, and that's cool. Even though the women are getting voted out, they're like
Well,
the weaker
it's
women.
It's the
expendable
prettier
women.
ones.
Yeah.
The pretty girls.
Right.
And
Well, they're getting voted out because they don't want the guys to go home because they think they need the guys for strength in the challenges.
So
And I think there are enough guys on this tribe that aren't like young douchebag types.
Right.
You know, with the beard.
Matt,
Matt, I love Matt.
Michael.
I love
Yes,
Matt.
I think they're the types that these women could talk to in a way and get them to understand that. Look, down the road, if it needs to come to that, I think when it kind of already has, but I think they understand that. So it's not necessarily like a women versus men's thing. A men thing, men's.
Yeah.
The men's room.
the men's is going to get sent home.
Yeah.
No,
So
Isn't he a wrestler?
he's a wrestler.
when they went to get water, it was Laura, Matt, and Sherry. And that's when Laura came up with the idea of let's split the votes in case the idol is played. We'll go 3 for Eddie, 3 for Hope. We'll have the guys vote for the guys, or for Eddie, and the girls vote for Hope. Then if there's a tie, we'll then change our vote to Hope. And so Laura and Sherry devised this plan, again, in the new school of Survivor, always planning split votes because of the idol play and the fear of idols.
I hate it.
And
Yeah, it's tricky. Split votes always kind of scare me.
it's more fun.
But it is more fun.
it is. And sometimes it's like it hurts to like.
Think
you
of
want me
all
to
the
what?
scenarios.
What? Yeah.
Right.
I mean, a lot of people have made mistakes and they went in
Tyson.
to vote. Yeah. Like, wait, what? What are we doing again?
Or you see, like Shamar, even he was like, "Wait, well, what? Who am I voting for?"
Yeah, just tell
Okay.
me what to do. I know. I can't believe, like, as great a position as he was in, that he then started stirring the pot, trying to get Hope to save herself.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I thought for sure Shamar was gonna get sent home.
Maybe that was his only hope.
It was his only hope.
What was
It's
it?
because he hates Eddie, and so like his hatred of wanting to get rid of Eddie.
And
just
here's the
was
thing, though, that was
overpowering for him.
interesting, though, if Hope really thought about it. Okay, so Hope thinks about it and thinks, okay, if they're going to split the vote with me and Eddie, I should just vote for Eddie. I will stay in the game. Let's say they did flop and vote Shamar with us. Even if I vote for Eddie out of safety, I still will be in the game.
Yep.
So Hope voting for Eddie this episode would have guaranteed pretty much that
she'd
she would have
still be
stayed in
there.
the game.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, she's not the bright one.
She had an opportunity to save herself, and instead, and the thing is, to look at this, I don't know. As an outsider, I look at this and I say, Hope, if he's coming to you right now and giving you this information, you already know that he may be in an alliance, but he's on the outs in his own alliance. You know this guy, he's already been talking about quitting, he's already, whatever. This guy's down and out right now. And if he's coming to you with information, you should probably listen to him because that could turn around to be a really great ally for you down the road.
Yes.
If he's going to go to you in a place where you're vulnerable and save you, when he's been a little bit vulnerable lately too, trust him right now.
But he's
Now's
almost
your chance.
he's almost gone to the point where nobody trusts him. You know, it's just Sherry
Well-
is doing Sandra Bullock, Sherry is doing such an amazing job of keeping him reined in and keeping him in the game. And even Julia, we saw Julia for the first time give a little confessional, the race car driver brunette girl, that she can't stand Shamar. We have Laura, can't stand Shamar. All these people in his alliance can't stand him, yet they're saving him and they're keeping him.
Can't stand is very different from voting out in
Yeah.
the world of Survivor. You have
Yeah.
to play with that mentality. You have to understand the people we can't stand, they're probably the ones I should keep around.
But here, the bigger picture
unfortunately,
is what I don't understand. They're doing this on both tribes. Both tribes have a majority alliance of 6. When you do that and you don't keep the outsiders...
Wait, can you say that one more time, just in case Reynold's watching? How many does it take to be in a majority of tribes 10?
6, Reynold, not 4. 6.
Continue.
So both tribes have a majority alliance of 6. But what they're not doing is in that majority, they're not having each people take some of the people in the minority and making them feel safe. So if there's a swap, there's a switch, you have disenfranchised members on your tribe that will, in the drop of a second, go switch to the other side. So I don't understand how you have this 6 alliance, but then you're not saying, you take this person, keep them a little closer, so then if there is a switch or when a merge happens, you don't have these people automatically ready to screw you over.
Nice use of the word disenfranchised.
Yeah.
Felt very political for a moment.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you know, it's weird because there hasn't been a tribal switch in a long time.
It really hasn't.
That used to be a thing whenever I played it. I think it was the second time where it was going on so often in seasons that we were all really paranoid of it happening. And sure enough, I think it happened twice on the All-Stars.
You know what I think?
I think Concord was the last one that switched sides, right?
Oh yeah.
Otherwise, they always talk about it, but when they get there, no one ever does it.
You know what I think it really is? I feel like the last few seasons of Survivor, they've really, with Boston Rob's season, with last year, with the comebacks who were sent home early in their seasons, whatever, the medevacs. And I feel like they're really trying to get certain people to win each season. They bring back people because they want them to have another shot at winning. And I think that the least amount of switching up that they do gives them the best opportunity to still win. And I feel like that's kind of happened. And it's these seasons feel a little bit tailor-made to help a Boston Rob win or a Russell Hantz win or Mike Scoopin or some of these players that are coming back.
I would have loved it if Scoopin won. That'd have been great.
He's your boy.
I love Mike
I did
Scoopin.
like him, but he was probably in the Final Four. He's probably my 4th favorite. I mean, I thought he was fun. He's fun to watch. Like, he's a doofus. I understand. You understand so much better why he went out the original season the way he did after watching this season.
He's very carefree and careless.
Yeah. And I was so in love with Denise and Lisa Whelchel.
That was a great season.
That was a great season. It was exciting.
I think that's part of the problem with this season is it's got a really big shoes to fill.
Well, I also think that every single season, in all fairness, because I do watch back these AfterBuzz shows, and I realize I'm a little bit critical on Survivor sometimes. I'm only critical because I absolutely love the show. I've watched 26 seasons of it. I've been obsessed with the show since high school, or my first year of college. That dates me a little bit. But I'm obsessed.
You just dated me, actually. Thanks.
But
I was on that season you watched while you were in college.
Just got in high school.
Yeah, but I'm obsessed with the show, and
Justin's not a fan at all.
But every single season it's like this. The first, and this is what's so interesting about Survivor, that it still does so well, because the first half of every season is kind of shit.
It really is.
Always really, it's like you're kind of getting to know people, you're not really in love with it yet. But the second half of Survivor, there's nothing on TV like it.
Right.
Like once you get down to the final, like after the merge, and then you go into like the jury. That's when it's just, it's so exciting. Right now, we're just getting rid of people who do not deserve to be there.
Right.
They're worthless.
Well, there is a level, though. There is more so in these seasons, more strategy being played earlier on. Earlier, how we were saying in classic Survivor seasons, you vote off the weakest members. That doesn't happen anymore. It's who are you forming these alliances quickly? Who are you getting off because of alliances right away? Shamar would not have stood a chance in an earlier season of Survivor the way he's acting.
No.
But because people look at him as a vote, he's going to be out there for a while.
But there you have to. Again, I'm looking at this objectively. That's how the game has evolved.
That's what I'm saying.
And that's the game now.
Yeah.
The reality is that the game in Australia Outback is not the game that it is, Fans vs. Favorites season 26. It's not the same game.
100%.
Some people can make the adjustment and come back and still rock it. Then you look at somebody like Colby who came back and played later on and he bombed. Like, he was not in great shape. His head wasn't in the game. Like,
he didn't want to be there.
Yeah.
That's, really what happened was on day one, everyone else was playing the game, creating alliances, and he was just like, dunk, 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 out on the beach, I'm laying in the sun.
Me and Tom are going to be buddies.
He didn't adapt to the new style.
Yeah.
No,
it is
like,
a different game.
It's being played before we even get dropped out there. That's what
Especially
it's like
on
now.
a season like this when all the faves know each other.
Yeah.
So it's really getting played.
You can guarantee they all talk to each other before they left.
Which may be part of the reason why Andrea, going back to the beginning of the episode, maybe that's why Andrea's trying to get rid of Corinne right now. Maybe they have something outside of the world of Survivor.
I guarantee you they do.
Exactly. So, We go to a revote.
Justin looks totally upset right now.
He likes to believe.
That is unfair for the fans.
No, it's not. That's the game now.
What's unfair to the fans is the fact that not a fan is the fan.
I agree with that.
That's what's annoying.
We're the real
We've already
fans.
established that, but it's also I'm rooting for the fans. I'm rooting for Sherry and Laura right now, 100%.
But as a fan, you sign up for the show and you know that they've done this before, so it is all part of the game now.
Well, yeah, and then you look at the first fans versus favorites. On the Final Four, you had 3 favorites, 1 fan, and she was basically dragged along. You know, so it's kind of the like you said, these seasons kind of are a little bit more tailor-made for the returning players.
Yeah, which I love because I just cheer for the favorites the entire time, while you guys all are pulling for the fans. Except for Andrea.
I'm on the fence, really. I just want it to be a good season.
Yeah.
That's all. I want it to be
some big
competitive.
moves.
Yeah, I want
Right.
people to play.
I want someone to be bloody.
Well, we're going to try.
And I want someone to scream about being hungry. They never scream they're hungry anymore.
Well, they're eating in every shot. I mean, I like coconuts. What is that fruit thing I see people eating? I want to know what that fruit is.
I think I saw somebody with Jamba Juice. They don't lose the weight that they used to lose. I don't see it. But so we go into a revote, and you guys were all saying hashtag revote while we were watching the show and cracking up. I was like, you guys, everything doesn't have to be a hashtag. And you're like, look, it's on the screen. CBS did that. So we go into a revote, and what happens in a revote, you guys, for anybody who's just now watching Survivor for the first time or hasn't seen this in a
changed
while.
over the years, though. I didn't even know what the rules were. I was like, what happened? Where's the rocks?
There are 9 votes. Yeah, that's if it's a revote of 2, I believe. Or, I don't know. That used to be the case, and it changed.
If the vote can't change.
Yeah. Well, what happened, and this could have happened, maybe it would have happened if we'd gone to another revote, because there are 9 people voting. 3 votes go to Eddie, 3 votes go to Shamar, 3 votes go to Hope, okay? And then those 3 are not allowed to vote in the revote. We could have had another tie. It could have been a 2-2-2. And then maybe then they would have had to get some colored rocks out. But it didn't happen.
I wonder what they do. I'm going to ask around and see what the new rules are. Because back in my day, it was if you had any previous votes against you, whoever had the most was then voted out.
And that ultimately had the merge played a huge role.
It was huge.
Oh, yeah.
It was huge, yeah.
I forgot
That's because everybody was sneaking out who has the hidden votes, who has the cast votes, and you guys played it off like you did, and you didn't.
No, they didn't. That's what they... no, nobody even knew that I had as many votes against me as they did. But Jeff Varner accidentally at a challenge was bragging to someone that he got the first vote of the season. And that's how we knew to vote for him. Isn't that crazy?
Wow.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And I'd love...
This information's priceless.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
Right. Let's get a copy of the rules for next week.
Okay.
No.
Okay, I'll see if I can.
But then you go to Survivor Marquesas. That's the first season we had the rocks pulled with
I don't like the rock.
with Pascal. He pulled the rocks and got eliminated. It was Nalia and Pascal and Catherine. And
Aaliyah?
Nalia.
She was on that season? No.
Nalia.
I love Pascal.
Pascal and Pappy and Vesepia, and that's when that was the first season where we had this rock pulling, and Pascal actually pulled a rock, and thankfully.
Sandra's like, no one's called me.
Oh, we gotta get her.
Are we calling Sandra?
Are we calling our special guest this evening?
I've called twice and she hasn't picked up. It's ranked for like 2
Text her.
minutes.
Call again
We
real
want
quick.
Sandra
right now.
on the line.
Send her the phone number.
I guess cat's out of the bag, you guys. We're trying to get Sandra, 2-time winner, on the phone right now.
Get her on the
Apparently
phone.
there's some technical difficulties. We've only got a few minutes left, but we're going to try to get her for you guys.
Oh, we have to get Sandra on
We have to have her
here.
calling again too when she
Positive
has more
energy.
time.
Put out the positive energy.
Yeah.
So
The revote.
Hope
you guys,
gets
someone
sent
just-
home.
Someone just called me the rose among the thorns of this show.
Whoa! What?
Thanks, Stephen Lehman.
Is that
We
our
could get a
Steve
new-
that called?
We could get a new co-host like that.
Right. What happened to our last co-host?
Good luck finding one that
She's got the safest seat on this panel.
yeah, good luck finding one that won't flake out on you or call in stone and not being able to get here.
Oh.
We're not saying that applies to anybody.
Revote. Revote.
Yeah,
Hashtag.
yeah.
As we're getting a little bit off track right now, let's make some predictions for next week. Before we're going to try to get Sandra on the line still, see if she can call in. Ryan's going to go take care of this. It looks like he's making stuff
it
happen right now. Let's talk about what
right now.
she is. Yeah. You guys, okay? So we're just changing up the whole process. Hey, this is AJ at AfterBuzz TV. Is this Sandra?
Yes, AJ, how are you? I was just saying, you must have been dialing the wrong number because my phone did not ring.
Sandra.
Girl, it is not me calling you. I apologize for that.
It's me. How are you? I miss you.
Man, look, I was like, man, this dude said he's going to call at 9 o'clock. I'm calling in my bed at 10. I'm going to give him one more minute.
So, Sandra, first of all, thank you for being here for us tonight and for hanging in there. I know it's late where you are. And I know you also haven't been able to watch the episode. I hear there was some issue on the East Coast.
Basketball game.
Yeah.
They said to watch at like 1 in the morning or see it on CBS tomorrow, because I was trying to come to CBS right now and say, well, let me see if something's up, but there's nothing there.
Yeah, they don't air it until later because of the West Coast. So, well, you haven't seen the episode, but what do you think about the season so far? What do you think about this format, the fans versus favorites? They've done it before, but what do you think about this season?
I don't know. Every favorite that's there is not a favorite. I don't feel like there. And every fan that's there is like, I don't know where they got these people from, because I hate when they make rookie mistakes on day 3 and day 6. I mean, like, it's crazy to me when there's so many potential better people they can cast out there that really know the game and will really get it moving on day 1. That, you know, I hate to talk about heroes and villains, but when we got there on the beach on minute 1, we were already strategizing and playing the game. These people, they're in La La Land. I don't understand.
It is really frustrating. And we were just talking a moment ago, because we have a super fan on the panel with us, Justin. He literally can name you every tribe of every season and tell you like who was on what tribe before and after the merges. He knows it all. And to see some of these quote unquote fans on this season kind of frustrates me. And we talked about how we think that these seasons recently have been they tailor them for these returning players. It seems like they did with Boston Rob's season, like they've tried to do with Russell Hantz, I believe, like they tried to do last year with Mike Skupin and with Penner. I feel like they bring back certain quote-unquote favorites again, and they try to give them the best opportunity they can to win. These don't seem like fans to me. Do you see that happening at all?
Well, the reason why the returning players do so well is because they have the experience of going out there. They have the experience of seeing these challenges or seeing portions of the challenges played out again, to where they know what it is they need to do to get the job done. Like when they did that last week, that challenge where they went in the water and pulled the sticks out. Mm-hmm. Well, the fans, they said that they went in there into the challenge and nobody really knew what anybody's strengths were. But you know, when you have a bunch of favorites that have already played the game and been in all these different challenges, with the exception of me, you know, I sit everything out.
I wasn't going to say it.
Like, pay attention. So, of course, the favorites have the upper hand. But these fans, you would think that from watching Survivor that they would know a thing or two.
Well, and I think what you're really saying also is that after living the experience and then watching it on television, you know your strengths and your weaknesses, and you know what to play to. You say you sat out every challenge, and that's a joke and that's funny, but it's your strategy, and it worked for you, obviously. It worked better for you than it's worked for anybody in the history of Survivor.
And you know what? And to talk about that for a second, at the same time, too, a lot of the times, if they're, like, really pinned up on winning, they're like, okay, we're going to sit this person out. So it might not necessarily be that I want to sit every challenge out. Mm-hmm. It's just sometimes that's the way the cards fall. Am I right, Jerry, when you guys wanted to play bowling and Coach wanted to eat pizza?
Yeah. And then we ended up...
You guys are going to sit out because I'm hungry. Okay, well, and they lost anyway.
It was,
still, we got the blame for it, although we didn't choose to sit out. But I guess since we don't speak up and say, okay, no, I don't want to sit out, I want to actually play, you know, whether I play or sit out, it doesn't matter to me because my game is elsewhere.
Yeah. Well, that's the smart way of looking at it.
Sandra, I have to let Justin ask you a question right now.
Sure. Hi, Sandra. How's it going?
He's dying right now.
Sandra, I love you.
Going very good.
You're one of my favorites.
Before you say Justin something, I want to say that I was looking at you guys' last week episode, and I'm thinking, damn, that guy is hot.
Oh, my God. That's the best compliment I've gotten. Thanks, Sandra. I love it. I'm going to turn really bright red now.
You're bright. He's bright red, Sandra. He's bright red.
Thank you, Sandra. Thank you very much.
He is. He's really cute.
I'm really bright red right now. Sandra, question.
I wish I could see it.
Oh, you got to come to LA and come join us in the studio.
Yeah, you're coming to the rally, aren't you?
No, Jerry, you know what? It's just too much. It's always, you want to come here, you want to come there. They spread me thin. I got stuff to do.
You're so
You got stuff going on. Who's going to get us coffee this year?
Sandra, I've got a question for you. Okay, you are obviously an amazing player. You've won the 2 out of 2 times you've played. So what would be your advice one piece of advice you would have given to the fans before playing and then to the returnees? Because you played both ways and won both ways, as a returning and as a fan. So what would be your advice, one as a fan, to the fans, and then to a returning player?
Okay, to the fans, I would have to say pay attention to detail. That's something that I always advocate. You got to watch what's going on always.
Great.
Does that sound good?
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. What
That's
about
great advice.
He's writing it down. That's why.
I got a mental note.
Trust no one because it's a trustless game.
That's right.
I love it. I love it, Sandra.
Although you could always trust me.
Sandra, since you've been on the show.
Jerry, you know what, girl? I don't even want to start. But you messed that up. I know you blame me and I blame you, but at the end of the day.
No, I don't blame you. I blame Russell Hantz.
At the end of the day, Sandra won twice, and you did it. It is what it is.
I know.
Do an interview without saying that name or the other name that Philip keeps throwing around.
Oh, yeah. I hear you. I really don't say that name very often either. It's like the name that no one should say again.
He who shall not be named.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I want to thank you so much for staying up and for calling in tonight, Sandra. I adore you, and I hope to see you again soon.
Yes, we love you.
Yeah, of course.
I love you, Sandra. I miss you.
Thank you, Sandra.
Call me when I've watched the episode. I have more to say because I don't even know who got voted out. Tell me.
Hope. One of the useless blondes.
I guessed it right. I just knew it. I said that chick is in trouble. And support is in trouble. If I would have been home, girl, I would have worked my magic.
Well, that's why you're the queen of Survivor.
Under the bus.
What do you think of Shamar, real quick?
What about Shamar? You know what? Yeah, he's nice and fat, and maybe he keeps Jerri warm at night, whatever. But I can only take but so much sarcasm and laziness. You know what I'm saying? Like, on day one, he's already complaining about the shelter. I would have said, "Yo, homie, you gotta chill. You gotta take a deep breath, and you gotta be a team player. And you better move your ass."
That needs to be the title of next week's episode. Yo, homie, you gotta chill. You gotta take a deep breath. I love that. Sandra, thank you so much for calling in.
You can be a yoga instructor.
We'll be in touch throughout the season. I do hope to see you again soon. Okay.
All right, you guys take care.
Take care,
Thank you
babe.
for having me.
Bye,
Sandra.
Bye, Sandra.
Sweet dreams.
Bye.
I love her.
Oh my
I love
God.
her. She's so fun.
Yeah.
And that's what she's so real.
Yeah.
Like she's just straightforward.
That's what I love about her. Like when I did a different show, every time I had her next to me, I was like, man, here comes some truth. Y'all better be ready.
Yeah.
And that's the crazy thing about Survivor is that, and this game will drive you nuts. That's what you look at Russell Hantz, who arguably, in some ways, and I know I just said his name, and
The name
you hate
that should not be
but
spoken.
in some ways, he's a genius. In some ways, he is a moron and he'll never win the game.
He's not a genius. He's not.
He recreated the game of Survivor. He did things in
No, he
Survivor that
didn't.
nobody's ever done
No.
at that time. But the problem is, he doesn't have a full game. You know, she's smart enough to understand that. Look, sometimes your team wants you to sit out, your tribe wants you to sit out over and over again. You sit out.
He wasn't there to win.
Well, it's not about.
He was there to be famous.
If you're there to get a bunch of attention and be famous, then you can make a bunch of choices to make that happen. But it's not a winning strategy. Period. It's just not.
I think the second time he was there to win. I think it drove him nuts. I think the second time he went.
I think he wanted to win each time, but he just didn't effectively do it.
What is your guys' interaction in person? Like, when was the last time you saw him? Do you guys like speak?
If he's anywhere at anything I'm at, I don't engage. I tried once, and then all he did was tell me a bunch of lies. No, he just kept lying to me about his personal life, and I knew they were lies because I knew the real story. And he just lies. He's a pathological liar.
Okay.
And so I'm sorry. I played a game. I played a game, but in real life I don't have to play it. You know, I can just walk away.
Yeah. So if he should call in, how would that go?
Bring it.
Looking forward to that, you guys.
Honestly, I just won't probably say anything. I probably won't say anything. That's fine.
Well, you guys, look forward to that this season.
Great rating. That's gonna be happening.
Don't do that when I'm on vacation.
Stay tuned.
Yeah, or maybe I'll say everything I've been wanting to say. Who knows?
Yeah.
Tune in and find out. That's all I'm going to say.
I guess we'll have to have wine that day. For sure.
Well, you guys, we are a little short on time, so we're going to skip right past the predictions for next week because, I mean, I think we all know what's going to happen.
Do we?
Shamar's going to be an ass, and it's going to be more Shamar, and we're not going to hear anything from Brenda.
Right. And Sherry gets a little crazy.
Sherry does get crazy?
Yeah.
We'll look forward to that. I want to thank you guys all for watching tonight, for tuning in. I want to thank Sandra so much for calling in. You guys, I think you will be out next week. Justin's out next week, but we do have Jillian Larson here next week from Survivor Gabon. She's going to be talking about a great organization and a charity fundraiser she puts together in Temecula every year called Reality Rally. So we look forward to having her here.
I will be there.
Me too.
I will be there. Yes,
nice.
I will.
We'll be there covering it as well.
I will be
AfterBuzz
racing.
is going there too.
We're putting you to work then.
Yeah, because we're here. AfterBuzz is going to be there.
AfterBuzz is covering it.
Well, I'll be there already then.
Oh,
Perfect.
Perfect. Well, Jerri, since you have 8 more followers than me on Twitter, I probably shouldn't say this, but where can our viewers and listeners find you on Twitter?
At Jerri Manthey. And you can also find out more about me at jerrymanthey.com. jerrymanthey.com.
She just got British. Justin.
My Twitter is Justin F. Walter. Website justinwalter.com. But also, again, all the fans out there, hit all of us up on Twitter, Facebook, iTunes, and the ABTV Survivor. ABTV Survivor.
Follow us.
He's wearing me out. I'm Ryan and Carrillo on Twitter and Instagram, and you can also find me Ryan Allen Carrillo on Facebook.
Did you say Ryan Ellen Carrillo?
Ryan Ellen. DeGeneres.
We're all British
Alan.
tonight.
You can follow me on Twitter at _AJ Gibson. Also check out my website, ajgibson.tv. Thank you guys so much for being here. We look forward to seeing you again next week, same time, same place. Bye.
Team Andrea.
Bing.com. Executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff. We would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later!
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.